When are the Niners going to realize that you got to play man coverage in today's NFL? That's a great question and something I'm actually super passionate about. I've talked to Robert Saleh about this during group press conferences, after group press conferences. I like to philosophize with him about defense because he's brilliant and he thinks about football in philosophical terms. But he's also very indoctrinated into his ways. Pete Carroll is one of his main mentors, and so is Gus Bradley, and they believe in zone coverage. They believe in it. They believe the key to good pass defense is to take away the long throws, the long plays. And if you play zone, you keep everything in front of you, you make your tackles. Eventually, the offense makes a mistake, a drop, a blown block, a sack, a penalty, and they essentially stop their own drives. And if you play zone enough, mediocre offenses will only string together maybe one or two 13-play touchdown drives a game, and they'll stop themselves eventually. And it's true. History bears that out. There is definitely truth to their theory that zone defense has these strengths, limits the big play. It also creates more turnovers because instead of having cornerbacks chasing with their back to the quarterback, hard to pick off passes when you don't see the quarterback throwing, you have all 7 people in coverage turned and facing the quarterback. So you're 7 times more likely to get an interception. All that's true. But when you get to the playoffs and you get to the Super Bowl and you face teams like the Chiefs, they're going to shred zone coverage. It's not good enough to just say, hey, let's play back and take away the big play and force them to drive the length of the field. They're going to do it. They're too good. The quarterback's too good. His weapons are too good. You can have a very good statistical defense playing zone. You can be a top 5 defense in the regular season. You're not going to win the Super Bowl. You're just not. You got to have more than that. And I think the Niners, to an extent, got that. Like when they brought in Joe Woods last year, the idea was we can't just play cover 3 zone anymore like we used to, like the Seahawks used to. That's 3 deep, 4 underneath. You can't just do that. There's too many ways to beat it. There needs to be some disguise. So what do? They threw in more cover 4, which is 4 deep, 3 under. Sounds, wow, like what? Whoa, cover 4. But it's different. There are different strengths and weaknesses between that and cover 3. The middle of the field is open in cover 4. The 2 safeties are split. Cover 3, the middle of the field is closed. So there's all different, it's like opposite ways to attack. It's a good thing to be disguising and using both. But still, they're both zone coverage. And what's nice about man is when you get into the Super Bowl and you're facing one of the best wide receivers in the league, like Tyreek Hill, you can take him out of the game. You can make it so the quarterback can't even throw there. Take away the read, make him go to the next progression. Because you get a cornerback up in his face, you jam him, you take away the slants, you force him up the field toward the sideline with the safety over the top. I think that's the best kind of pass coverage. Don't concede a short throw and then tackle the guy. Don't concede 7 yards. Take the read away. Force the throw to a 3rd or 4th option. That's what Bill Belichick likes to do. So you can get really far with zone, but I think you can't get far enough. And if you can no longer win the Super Bowl playing defense that way, then you need to incorporate man-to-man coverage, which means you need to have cornerbacks who can do that because playing man-to-man coverage is much more physically demanding than playing zone. Sherman can play zone, and he's probably slower than you are. Sherman plays zone coverage with his mind, with body positioning and experience in reading plays. Man-to-man coverage, you don't have to know a single thing about football. You just have to be able to chase someone. It's like playing tag. And those are the best athletes usually in the league. Guys who can chase number 1 wide receivers, that's incredibly difficult. So that's why, another reason why teams go to zone. It's like, well, if we want to play man, then we need to really invest in cornerbacks, 1st-round picks, big-time contracts and free agency. If we play zone, we can just get guys in the 4th and 5th round and have them hang back and really help them. It's a way to save money. But ultimately, you're not going to win a Super Bowl that way. So the Niners have to find a way to add some man coverage to their defense. And what's interesting about that is I think their weakest man-covered corner on the team is Richard Sherman. He's the best zone corner, but he's the weakest man corner. because he can't. Here's the thing. You play man-to-man coverage, you're responsible for chasing a guy across the field if he runs a crossing route. That's tough. A race from one side of the field to the other, and you're in a trail position. If you're slow, if you can't make up ground, you're burnt right away. And he can't make up ground. Even at his best, he couldn't handle crossing routes. So what he does, he tries to cut him off. He'll jump the inside route, force you up the sideline, and then he's still too slow to run that down, which is one of the main reasons the Niners play so much zone coverage. So key plays, big games of the season, 3rd and 8, 4th quarter, when you shouldn't just be playing prevent zone. Maybe the Niners take Sherman off the field. I don't know. Be interesting to see. Because the way I look at it is Ahkello Witherspoon is the best athlete of the 49ers corners. Best athlete. He stinks in zone coverage. I've watched a lot of Ahkello Witherspoon. The dude is just lost. He's lost. He covers grass, not players. People run by him. He lets them go. He's always a step late to react. So it's like, what's the point of even having him in zone? Because the point of zone is to have people be a step early to react. They see it happening. He's actually quite good. Well, quite good, strong. He's competent in man coverage because he's 6'3" and he's extremely quick and fast. He has all the size and movement capabilities to shadow and mirror and chase people. He just doesn't get an opportunity to do it very much because the Niners don't play much zone. So if the Niners were to update their defensive philosophy, bring it more into the new decade of football, maybe Ahkello Witherspoon could kickstart his career. I think he's in the wrong scheme.